Hello, my name is Amy Apgar, and this is my Ignite presentation for 5:30. I'm going to tell you about the 7 strategies of formative assessment. What is formative assessment? Formative assessment is the formal and informal processes that teachers and students use to gather evidence for the purpose of improving learning. There are 7 strategies. They do not have to appear in order, but for the deepest understanding is achieved when all are met. Strategy number 1, provide students with a clear and understandable vision of their learning targets. This provides students with the "we are learning" statements that they will be able to answer at the end of their learning targets. How does it apply? Converting learning targets into student-friendly language allows for the clearest message to be portrayed to the students about the upcoming learning. This can be done with a group and colleagues. What does it look like in the classroom? It would be an exit ticket, a grading rubric, or a "what stuck with you" post-it. Strategy number 2. Use examples and models of strong and weak work from previous students. Be sure to make it anonymous. By providing examples of students' work, other students can judge the quality and understand the accuracy in which you are looking for. How does it apply? It provides students with a guiding hand to begin their learning process. The examples allow students to plan their work and see exactly what is expected from the teacher. A teacher will also want to provide a rubric so that students have a clear expectation of what is required. Examples would be past student work and a grading rubric. Strategy number 3. Giving feedback from both teachers to students and students to students. Formative assessment does make a difference. It is the quality, not the quantity of the feedback that merits the closest attention. Now that students have a clear vision of what's required in the learning targets, teachers and peers can provide descriptive feedback to one another. Some examples of feedback would be success and interventions, such as telling them what they did well and asking questions for further understanding. Strategy number 4, teach students to self-assess and set goals. Strategy number 4 has 4 parts. Now that students were able to discuss and receive feedback, we want to make sure that they set targets for their learning goals. When students self-assess, they set goals and develop an internal sense of control of the conditions for their success. They'll want to self-assess, make justifications, and set goals. Students can create these steps to reach their goals. By judgment, they know what they are to learn, how they can perceive, and what they perceive and make a plan for their learning. Strategy number 5 designs a focus for one learning target or a specific part of a lesson. We do this for scaffolding, and 5 and 6 go hand in hand. For students, they want to have some focused revision as well, in order for the scaffolding of the teacher's lessons to focus on one learning target or aspect at a time, along with teachers' teaching focus. How it applies to the classroom? Designing lessons to teach students how to recognize and avoid particular problems that they predict or demonstrate. Often the teacher gets good information about the students by paying attention to their wrong answers. Some examples would be having students write out their reasonings for their answers and multiple choice questions. Give quick information to the teacher. Strategy number 7 engages students in self-reflections and lets them track their learning. The picture below is actually one from my classroom. It's one of my students filling in his graph from his data binder. How does it apply to the classroom? Students get to create portfolios of their work samples and student work, and they can reflect on their growth with graphs and self-reflection because they get to look back at their old work. Strategy number 7 is the gap closing strategy because it impacts students' motivation and retention. And here's some examples of the graphs. This one's a point graph. Like I said, I use bar graphs, and the kids color them in different colors, and they get to see their growth in one sheet. My final thoughts, assessment is a learning gift we give our students, and it's a promise that we will use assessment not as a punishment or reward, but to guide them in their learning journeys. Thanks so much.